guys, I'm Woodcraft Hamster and I thought I'd do a short video today. I was actually rummaging around in my workshop trying to find something in the chaos that generally is my workshop. And I came across a box full of some of my old carvings. They're mostly spoons, and I thought just a very quick video to give you guys an idea of kind of some of the stuff that I've carved in the past and sort of the progression and that kind of thing. What I'll do, let me move the camera in a little bit closer, guys, and I'll show you what it is that I've dug out. Okay guys, so this is what I found. I had quite a lot of woodworking projects that I've done over the years, and a lot of the time I'd kind of carve something, give it a light finish, stick it away somewhere, and move on to the next project. Now, if I remember correctly, I think this one here was actually the very first spoon that I ever carved. Obviously it's very basic, it's very plain, there's no decoration or anything pretty about it. It's just a functional spoon. I've got an oil coating of some kind on this, I have no idea what, and I think this was out of a piece of lime wood if memory serves. But again, it's a nice little spoon. It's not a particularly deep bowl, so probably use this for kind of rice and things like that one out on the field. Followed by, I think this was the second one I made, which looks like it's out the same piece of wood, same finish, and just a smaller version basically. And again, these are nothing pretty, but I'm actually quite quite proud and quite pleased of these as my first attempts. I think I tried to go a little bit clever here and try and make a little bit of a sort of decorative detail on there. But again, these are kind of like the first things I've started making. I think this was something I was again trying to be a little bit clever with. The detail on the top there. It's not particularly brilliant in my opinion, but again, as a first attempt at that kind of thing, I think I was fairly pleased with it at the time. And again, I'm not sure what wood this is off the top of my head. I don't think I've finished it. I've sanded it, but I haven't oil finished it. And again, it's a nice little spoon. You're not going to get a great deal in that bowl. But yeah, I quite like the look of that one as well. Moving on, I mean, this one here. I actually had to think about this one a little bit, and I actually carved this when I was away for a camping trip a couple of years ago, I suspect. And this was when I got to that point where I was fairly confident with my skills for carving. I mean, again, you can see there, it's in no way a pretty spoon. It's got a tooled finish. There's no sanding been done. The bowl inside, hopefully you can see that there, is quite rough. But again, what I wanted to do, I didn't actually take any form of cutlery. I've got a titanium spork that I normally use when I go camping, and I deliberately left that at home and said, right, I'm going to take my regular knife, which I think at the time was one of my Morers, and I had a spoon knife as well. And I said, right, I'm going to, the first thing I'm going to do once we've set up camp is I'm going to make myself a spoon to eat my evening meal. And again, this is kind of the type of thing that I now tend to produce whenever I go away camping. Unless we've got a really specific goal in mind, this is what I will make. Maybe a little bit of a longer handle. This one was quite short for some reason, but again, you can eat rice with this, you can eat a stew, you can eat pretty much anything you would do with a normal spoon. You haven't got to worry about sanding the bowl down, you don't need to worry about sealing it with oil, and a lot of the time I'll make one of these, I'll use it at camp, and then I'll throw it in the fire at the end of the night or the following morning before we leave. And they're really good little disposable bits of equipment, and I really like them. This one here was actually something I made for my wife. We packed it up away when we moved house last year. We basically forgot to take it back out, but this is known as a Welsh love spoon. My understanding is that let me get this right in my head. I believe that this is a very traditional piece of carving, but potential suitors would carve something like this, generally a lot better and a lot more detailed than this. But they'd carve something like this to for their betrothed, and it would be a demonstration of their skill to prove that in the worst case scenario, all else failed, they had a skill to fall back on, so that they could basically feed their wife. That's my understanding of it. Happy to be proved wrong or told differently. But again, I really enjoyed making this. It's certainly not particularly detailed. You know, I really like the twists in it. I've seen versions of these from people online, and there's a couple of web forums I belong to, and I've seen people who make these things. I mean, they really are a work of art. This is very sort of basic and plain in comparison, but I really liked it. I quite like the shape of the bowl. And the actual the spoon as well. You know, you've got some nice sort of curves going in there, and again, I really enjoyed making this. And then finally, the last thing I found in this box was this. My wife is likes butterflies, and I thought, well, you know, I had an afternoon to spare. I was sitting down with nothing to do. I wanted to do some carving, so I tried making a butterfly. Again, it's not a particularly pretty carving. It's quite basic and simple. And sometimes, you know, I do believe that, you know, the simple carvings are, you know, slightly better. I actually tried to do some coal rossing on the back of this, which I'm almost tempted not to show you, but I suppose I should. This was really poorly done by me. I'm certainly no artist when it comes to sort of fine detail and things like that. So when we had this up, it was on a shelf in our house for a little while. We kept it this way because, in my opinion, it looked slightly nicer. But again, guys, this is just, I thought I'd give you a quick sort of 5 minutes, show you some of the stuff that I've made in the past, and a little bit of an explanation behind it. So I've completely forgot this one. Again, really simple spoon, put sort of almost like a sort of a striped effect on there, which I really like actually. It was quite fun to do. And yeah, you know, I just like this kind of thing. You know, it was something that I made probably 4 or 5 years ago. Not the sort of thing I'd probably make today, but yeah, you know, I quite enjoyed doing it. So anyway, guys, hope it was useful, just to give you a bit of an idea of some of the stuff that I've made in the past, and maybe give you some ideas of something maybe you can try yourselves. Comments and questions in the box below. Like and subscribe if you want to see me do more, and I hope you all join me next time. Thanks, guys.